Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. The Supreme Court today has ruled that divorced Muslim women in the country are entitled to maintenance under Section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code, stating that all married women, regardless of their faith, are covered by the secular provision. The ruling was made in response to a challenge from a Muslim man in Telangana who was questioning a High Court order to give his ex-wife interim maintenance of 10,000 rupees. The apex court dismissed the petition, refusing to interfere with the maintenance order of the family court. The court emphasized that a Muslim woman may pursue additional remedies under the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019 if she gets divorced while filing her plea under Section 125 CRPC. Let's start this conversation and understand what's the crux behind the Supreme Court ruling in this matter that is then significant for the security as well as the equality of women across the globe, across all faiths and religions. Let's start our conversation. Joining me on the telecast is Tahira Hassan. Thank you very much, ma'am. And how do you view about this issue of alimony that has once again been raised in courts, and the Supreme Court obviously ruling in favor of the woman who was seeking alimony and was being refused by her former husband?
Yes, I welcome the highest court of the land's verdict, and I believe that Supreme Court once again stood with the women of this country. Naturally, Muslim women are also the citizens of this country. They have every right, every constitutional right to avail their rights that is given in the Constitution, in our laws. So they can go, they can seek alimony, they can seek maintenance under the CRPC of 125. So I think it should be welcome. And earlier it was like that the Muslim women can have maintenance. They can seek for the maintenance only for the 3 months, the iddat period. But you know that most of the women, we know Muslim women, they are not independent. Not only Muslim women. This law is, this act, this CRPC 125 is for all women irrespective to caste, creed and religion.
Absolutely.
So most of the women who are not independent, they are dependent on their husband. So this is high time to understand their sacrifices for the family. You cannot abandon them like that. You have to provide the maintenance until they remarry or they get some job or they are financially independent. So I think that this is a good decision, and this is towards.
But also understanding, Tahira Hassanji, why does this issue keep coming back to haunt us? Right from the time the Shah Bano case, where the Supreme Court decision was upheld, and there was political involvement of the government to allow for the case to turn against this woman. Who was seeking alimony, was not given alimony on the grounds that the certain sections of the Muslim community were averse to the decision that had been made by the Supreme Court. And then also my issue about the Muslim Personal Law Board and the personal laws of Muslims in our country are then to be examined with a magnifying glass.
Of course, there's need to be reform, and the triple talaq in one go, instant triple talaq, that is not existing in 22 Muslim Islamic countries. But that time it was existing in India, and we all was requesting to Muslim Personal Law Board that please remove this barbaric, inhuman, un-Quranic, this triple talaq in one go. Because not mentioned once in the Quran. Because Quran cannot be based on inhuman activities. So I think this is only made by the after the Quran, this was these hadith and sunnah, whatever it is. I'm not authority in Islam, but they were made after the Quran came in existence. After that, most of the things are Maulana Sahabans made, So women, they don't want, they treat in all the religion, women are treated as a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
They were always their guideline only for the women, just to suppress them.
Yeah.
There's no guideline for the men.
And then also
for the civil law, civil suits, for the criminal cases, they use the law of the land. But only in the case of the Muslim women, they need this type of Sharia laws.
Which is unfortunate.
So I think, no, this is not mentioned in Quran.
Yeah.
This is un-Quranic, un-Islamic. So this was the only made by them.
Yeah. Zinat Shaukat Ali, if you could shed light into, the previous times, whether we talk about, thankfully, there has been criminalization of triple talaq that has taken place. There is now this issue of providing alimony to women, and especially impacts the Muslim women who may have been denied alimony because of the personal Muslim laws that have been in force. And as Taira Hassan was saying, that certain individuals, certain families, certain communities within the Muslim religion would cherry pick the rules and the laws of the country depending on their convenience.
I completely agree with you, and this is a very welcome judgment to start off with. The first thing that I would like to say is that, you see, patriarchy and misogyny has become part of an understanding cutting across religions where women have been concerned. But here we find that in the particular sphere that we are talking about, it is more the patriarchy and the traditional law that has enforced itself. And unfortunately, that is out of the ambit of the Quran, because the Quran ensues justice, adl, for men and for women, and an equal balance, and a lot of compassion. And here 125 refers to destitutes, and absolutely within the framework of the Muslim law, the primary obligation for maintenance lies in supporting one's wife and children. So this is completely within the ambit of Islam. And Muslims are mandated to provide and are concurrently entitled to receive maintenance from both ancestors and descendants. If you go back into history, you look at these are the actual laws that prevail, but which over centuries have become changed. And after 200 years of the Prophet, peace be upon him, passing away, the laws were made very strong and were humanly interpreted. So, and there have been various different kinds of multiple interpretations where especially women are concerned. So here I think this is a very welcome judgment, and those individuals maintenance are, and women should be getting their dues. So where is the question of this kind of inhuman, a law that spells inhumanity, where you put away a whole section of human beings, the female, the women. I think these laws are completely out of the ambit of Quranic law, and
I completely agree with you.
They do a lot of injustice. So I think that the application of the Criminal Procedure Code, of course, I've seen very cursorily looked at the details of this law. I mean, I can't say the details, but whatever has come out of it, I think, and the arguments that have been placed by the honorable respected judges, I think hold ground.
Okay. Atharji, then my next question is, and a logical one at that, how imperative does it become for the Uniform Civil Code to be implemented across the country? If it is implemented, problems such as these, whether it is about alimony, triple talaq, thankfully it has been eradicated, it has been criminalized, but there are other issues, inheritance issues for Muslim women that are then going to be brought under check.
Megha, as far as triple talaq and alimony to the divorced women are concerned, it is a very welcome move, and long back the Supreme Court has ruled that under the Muslim married women protection law, they must get the monthly maintenance. And now under section 125 of CRP criminal law also, the Supreme Court has stamped the authority and put the controversy to end and justified that Muslim women should be provided maintenance by the ex-husband. So it is a very welcome group, thing. But as far as other personal law is concerned, it is very difficult to implement because there are certain things which are very personal and family and community specific. As far as there is only inheritance is concerned, anybody in any law can will or give anything to their daughter or son as per their wish, right? So this is one law of inheritance where Muslim personal law is different than the other national law. The second one is,
sorry, I don't understand. Are you saying, I don't understand, but under Muslim personal law, the daughter of the family is not, it's not possible. She does not have the right to inheritance. She does not have the right to own land.
Under the Muslim personal law, it is compulsory. There is a share of the daughter, and it varies from 1/3 to 50% depending upon the number of daughter or the brother siblings. So it is inherent there. So that's what I am saying. There is nothing to be changed or to be put in the uniform civil code. The other thing is, as per the will of the father or the grandfather or the mother, they are allowed to give whatever they are pleased to do, and they can distribute their wealth to their siblings as per their wish. So this is the other thing.
Okay.
The second point is that Marriage Act, where there is a difference that under the Muslim personal law, one can have 2 or 3 or 4 wives. While as Hindu personal law, there you can't have a second wife unless and until you have a divorce with your first wife. So this is one thing. Now here also you can see the modern trade of live-in relationship, the relationship which exists, the disguised relationship, and just there are instances where the first wife is being divorced forcefully just to have a second wife. Otherwise, there was a provision of keeping the 2 wives. So, basically, the Muslim communities, they should come themselves to reform, and the scholars and the religious scholars and leaders should come out where
fair
the
enough.
community should
be reformed. Okay, fair enough. There has to be reform. There have to be leaders. There have to be the the people who are going to show the right path for the community. That's all good, and we have been propagating it and advocating it for a really long time. But there have to be these strict actions that need to be taken and be seen to be taken to tell the Muslim women in our country that, listen, our laws stand by you, our law and order agencies stand by you and in support of you. Shams Sharif ran also on the telecast with me, and Shams Sharif, if you can tell us, elaborate to us, why does this problem keep persisting and keep cropping up? Because from the time after the Shah Bano case was brought to fore, there has been a law that has also been passed. This is section 125 CRPC. Why does this issue keep cropping up? It's because traditionally in a Muslim household, the rule of the law, as per the Muslim personal laws, is a woman is entitled to alimony only for a period of 3 months after which is the iddat period. And truth be told, unfortunately, even when you have the civil laws in place and the criminal laws in place that support Muslim women, they are unfortunately not followed in Muslim households. They have the option of following it, but they do not do it. How do we, and something similar, I'm guessing also is happening with the triple talaq criminalization. Until and unless a woman goes to the court and knocks at their doors, this tradition continues.
Well, let me tell you about the triple talaq. Well, triple talaq is only the instant triple talaq is what has been the legal case has come out on that. The act is on that. That if I instantly say that I want to give you talaq and I straight away say 3 times talaq, 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 this is what is being made a law. Whereas if you want to give a divorce to a Muslim lady, you have to give a notice once, then after a month, one more notice, and then after a month. So 3 months you will give 3 different notices. So the problem with the maintenance is that that as per this law, the iddat period 3 months the maintenance will be paid. That is what the problem is. So Uniform Civil Code will play a very important role. Why? That again, when you seek a divorce, you talk about everything: maintenance of the child, maintenance of me, and my future, my house, my everything. So when you're talking about divorce in except for the Muslim law, Hindu and Sikh and all, so there you talk about everything. Then you get into an agreement, if at all you want to get into an agreement, and then you take a mutual divorce, or else you go to a court. Court gives you a divorce that all right, you have to pay a certain amount to the wife as a per month maintenance or a lifelong alimony. So that is a very good thing, wherein the woman does not have to struggle again and again. Whereas under the Muslim law, she gets a divorce and she has to run from pillar to post to get a maintenance. So though I totally I'm very happy that this law has actually come up, and the court has started acknowledging that under 125 CRPC, a Muslim woman should also get the maintenance. But the problem is that it's not only that. The divorce should not be only that triple talaq, that wherein you give every month. It should be properly gone to the court. All right, if at all there is a process in the Islam that you have to give three notices, I am okay with it. But the final outcome, the decree of divorce will be given by the court. That thing, something this sort of should come, wherein the wife should not, run behind the husband seeking a maintenance.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And therefore, to simplify this and to support the women and give them equal rights, and which is also their fundamental right, there was a ruling that came out from the Supreme Court, criminalization of triple talaq. My point over, and like you said,
right,
the maintenance that has to be provided to a woman, irrespective of whichever faith she may belong to, supersedes the Muslim personal law. My point over here is, while these laws have been put in force, can they really be enforced until and unless there is awareness and reform that happens within the Muslim households?
Yes, awareness. Point is, it's not only about the awareness. I'm so sorry, I actually shouldn't be saying it, but the men in the Muslim community, they are more onto that mindset wherein it's not only in the Muslim community. In general, I am saying, what benefits them, they will turn that word into as per their own
Fair
mindset.
enough, yeah.
So what they do is, that as per Islam, there was something else, that you marry someone because of this ground. Your wife should be happy, and if in case you are not having a child and you have to ask your first wife to get married to a second one to have a family and all. Reasons to get married to the second one and then the third and then fourth. There were really different points over there. But what they have done is, with 3-4 wives, so they actually and then they said कि हम तो शादी अपने choice के हिसाब से कर रहे हैं. Whereas as per Islamic law, it's not the case.
Yes,
so same
but
is
that's
here.
what I'm saying. There needs to be a change of mindset. There are women
the problem is
that would even accept this
the
because
problem
they
is
have
that
been conditioned to do so.
problem is that they will never accept that, because when you give a divorce to a lady, you have to give rights over the property as well. So you have to share your own property, your business,
Yes,
money,
yes,
everything.
exactly,
And then
exactly. So the Muslim personal
why
laws
will I do?
are made and enforced, which are always in favor of men. Is the question, and
Yes,
therefore my
very
next question comes about the Uniform Civil Code. Zeenat Shaukat Ali, you want to make a point?
Yes, I think, I support you in what you say. You see, the Uniform Civil Code is a very misunderstood concept. It gives, it is actually implementing and giving those rights to women which Islam already gives, but which are somehow or the other never implemented and never taken
Yes.
by them, because the male patriarchy always dominates, and somehow the other, because of this power that is being placed in their hands, they tend to use it as they wish. So I think, where the Uniform Civil Code is concerned, it is going to resolve a lot of issues, and we do need to look at a regular draft. The Law Commission had brought out a draft and circulated it, and then there was some discussion, and but you have to have the experts sitting across in this subject, and not to, like, for example, why I say the experts, because in the triple divorce, as it's just been mentioned, it is only the instant triple talaq. But in Islam, there is only one way of divorce. Whether the man wants to divorce or the woman wants to divorce, they have to say that in the tuhur, in the period when they can they have she has no monthly courses, and sex is not taboo. So at that time, when they decide, there is a 3 month interim period for which they wait, and that is 90 days, after which, during which time they remain married, and after which there is a divorce. Now, had that been looked into carefully, the law would have, become less complex and complicated, because Islamic law itself, as today, is not an easy, cup of tea to understand, or to, for other people to comprehend. So you need a team of experts to sit and break their heads, and then that law could have been a very firm law. But here, when you talk about a uniform civil code, I think it becomes very important, because, first you have to understand that, it is a directed principle of, of the state policy, and in Article 44, and we have to think about it, that the founding fathers, gave those rights. So one has to look at that, from that point of view, also from the point of view that that Islam gives Muslim women those rights. And the sad part is that when Islam has given those rights, for example, I'll give you some examples. A Muslim woman, when she marries, does not have to cook for her husband. She's not a housemaid. She's a wife. So if she says that she wants a separate place to live in, she should be given that. In the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, in his life, he gave a different chamber to all to his wives, and
But
they
ma'am,
enjoyed.
let's also try to be practical. The fact that the majority of the population lives in the poverty and is middle class. At the end of the day, if there is one person who's earning and the other person is sitting at home and not earning, so there are responsibilities that are divided irrespective of which faith or community or creed that you come from. So there can be, yes, a small percentage of Muslims who can afford palatial homes and who can afford maids and who can afford servants, to not allow for the other partner to go to then cook food or do other household chores. It is not a practicality in the larger scheme of things, in the largest sense. But Tahira Hassan, about, what Zeenat was saying, and I could only get, a trickle of what she was saying, because she has spoken about the complexity of the laws in Islam, and she's pointed out to these matters. But again it becomes difficult for an average person to comprehend, let alone Zeenat Shaukat Ali, who is trying to explain to me about this. So Tahira, the question again comes over here is, to simplify all these complicated laws, and to ensure that the Supreme Court does not have to take one problem after the other. You take the triple talaq problem, you resolve it over there, criminalize it, then you take the alimony problem, maintenance problem, you then bring about a law under section 125 CRPC that a woman is entitled to maintenance irrespective of whatever period of time, 3 months, 6 months, 1 entire year, till the time she becomes independent, or I don't know, till the time she has other means of caring for herself and looking after herself and the children. So would it not be easier, convenient to have the uniform civil code, or are we continuously going to keep going back and picking up the laws that are problematic in uniform, in Muslim personal laws, and then trying to fix the problem specifically one by one?
No, I think that Muslim personal laws must be reformed. There must be a reform based on progressive ideas, put into it.
Are you saying we should keep the Muslim personal laws, reform them instead of having uniform civil code? There is no harm. Are you saying there's no harm in having Muslim personal laws being followed and adhered and enforced? Unlike how the Hindu...
No, I'm not saying. Okay. I'm saying this, that Muslim personal laws, not this. I mean, whatever is given in Quran. Quranic laws are very progressive. So that should be like a divorce in 3 months period given for the divorce. So
but then why not have the uniform civil code, which is going to be equal for every single individual and of every single faith?
Meghna, we will only talk. I have said so many times that nobody is against the common civil code. Bring the draft. But is it easy to think? The culture, the custom, everything changes after 20 or 30 kilometers in India.
Interestingly also, the uniform, there are uniform laws except for the Muslim community across the spectrum, for Christians, for Hindus, for Parsis, for Jews, who are all living the umbrella of the democracy that India is.
Meghna, let me finish.
Can I come in and answer your question?
Give me 1 minute only.
Yeah.
Let me finish. It's not a problem, common civil code for the Muslim. I'm saying Mitakshara, that is a branch of Hindu law, that they don't believe in giving any inheritance in property to the daughter, right? And the other thing, you take the Goa civil code, Goa common civil code. What is this? If the wife fails to produce male child at age of 30, husband can have second wife. We don't want this type of
yes, of course, and I think Hindu women are more empowered than their Muslim counterparts.
Bring the draft, and it's not a question and problem of the Muslim. Muslims should not shout against it. I don't know why the Maulana Sahabs are going out of
I absolutely agree with you. Atazia, yes, please go ahead. And I would like to also beg, there is a stark difference in terms of the growth and empowerment of the larger percentage of Hindus in our country versus the Muslim women in our country. Hindu women in our country versus Muslim women in our country.
Because of it is not only the women, it is, if you compare the Muslim male and Hindu male, there is a stark difference in terms of development and in terms of educational standard, in terms of progressiveness. So basically the Muslim whole community should have to reform, has to become progressive, take greater part in the development, community development and other things. As far as you are saying about uniform civil laws, what purpose of that is, there are so many tribals where in Uttarakhand and other places, when the uniform civil laws question came, they have to be excluded because they have a typical they have a typical customs, and they have a...
Okay, that's one end of the spectrum, and I'm not discussing that. What I'm discussing over here is, and I gave you a very logical response to why this should be implemented.
Megha, let me complete. As I said earlier, only two things. One is inheritance. The triple talaq has been done away. The 2 wives and 3 wives and 4 wives issues are there. That should be reformed. And I said there are many complications. So for the development of the society and the Indian society as a whole, and what is required as a on humanitarian basis, on basis where the justice should prevail, nobody should be exploited, and nobody should be, persecuted. So those kind of things should be taken care of.
This is in our laws. Our laws do say it, that people are not supposed to be persecuted on the basis of their gender and religion and creed. It continues to happen nonetheless. Once the crime is caught is when you go to the courts and this happens, and therefore, okay, fine, all right. Quickly, last word from Zeenat Shaukat Ali. I have very little time, ma'am. Another 30 seconds before I wrap this up.
Yes.
I'll
come to you. Zeenat Shaukat Ali, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All I need to say is that within the Muslim personal law, there is the Sunni law, then there is the Shia law. Then there is a different.
And that's why I completely continue to advocate, why do we not have a uniform civil code? Why don't we have one set of laws under the umbrella of which things are simplified and women are given empowerment? Is exactly what I'm saying.
Yes, that's good, but is it possible? Question is this.
But
yes,
that's what I'm saying. How is it not? Because when Hindu personal laws back in the day after independence were completely withdrawn, and the citizens had to adhere to the laws enforced, the civil laws and the criminal laws in our country.
Absolutely.
Uniform civil code was spoken about in 1952. So the Congress member of Parliament spoke about uniform civil code in 1952, and the subject has always been there. It has been a hot topic. Every government comes talk about it and then sleeps. Why? Because there are many difficulties which might come. But the point is that wait. Let me complete over here. But the point is that till when are you going to wait for all the difficulties vanish away? Be it Hindu, be it Muslim. Hindu women are not given rights in their properties. All right.
In fact, there is a law that has now come into being. It is enforced which has come a few years ago, which it goes about saying that the daughters have a right in the inheritance, property, and otherwise of their family, of their parents, of their ancestors.
But if the daughter dies, so before the parents dies, so the grandchild cannot ask property from her from his nana side. So there is a slightly technicality here and there. That's what I'm saying, that every law has been manipulated some way or the other, wherein the woman has been suppressed. So yes, uniform civil code would be a very good thing to do, wherein you have all uniform laws for the property rights, for the divorce, marriage, child custody. Because here we also need to talk about the transgenders, wherein on the very first day when a kid is born, that kid is taken away by someone from the transgender community, if that very religion, and every law. So yes, uniform civil code is a very good thing, but then read about it, go through everything, and then only implement. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast and sharing your views on this very important, sensitive subject. I'm out of time. Thanks for watching NewsX.